So excited. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Black Carnivore live stream. We do this every Thursday, and I think we're going to have a great conversation tonight. I have lots of things to update you guys on, and I guess Arian too, and we're just going to have a fun conversation. So here we go. Arian, what's going on?
Scrolling with my camera. That's what's going on right now.
All right. All right.
Besides
well, while
that,
you do that,
not a lot.
While you do that, I don't know if you guys saw. I posted my cousin was in the New York Times yesterday, and I posted the article in my stories. It was a really, really wonderful. Well, it was really wonderful that she got so much coverage. Her son is in a private school, a very exclusive private school in North Carolina, and in the 9th grade. And this school was planning on teaching the play Fences to a predominantly white class of kids, and it was, it just probably was not the right material and not the right context and not the right teacher to do something like that. And my cousin spoke to the school about it, and what ultimately ended up happening was they expelled her son. So, it was, pretty stunning. And she's gotten a lot of coverage, yesterday and today. Even this morning, they were talking about it on The View. And apparently August Wilson's niece actually has reached out to her and has tweeted about it. And oh my God, this was exciting, really exciting. She got a message from the actor who played Lionel on The Jeffersons. And apparently he went to one of these exclusive boarding schools, and he reached out to her to support and everything. But I was like, oh my God, Lionel.
That's awesome.
I know, right? So, that was pretty big. But, so we've really come together as a family to support her and to really try to help. But it's definitely been a tumultuous last couple of weeks. This has been going on since right before Christmas, or right before Thanksgiving. So I encourage you all, if you haven't seen the article, head over to the New York Times. The link, I think the link is in my bio. But it was, a very good article, and, it's a really important issue, and one that I'm sure is going on in schools all over the place. I mean, when I was a kid, I had to read Huckleberry Finn in school. So, this issue has been going on for quite a long time, and it's a big one. Okay, I see there are a lot of people here, so please hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the little bell icon so you can get notification every time we go live.
We read Huck Finn in high school or middle school. I don't remember reading much of it out loud. I think that's how we got around the N-word issue, was just to not say it all the, yeah, I think we had the reading. I think we had to read it at home and then talk about it in class. I don't know that we did many, if any at all, readings in class. I bet our teacher, if they did, specifically picked out sections that didn't have that word.
Yeah.
I don't, weird. I went to an all-white high school. That would not have been fun.
Yeah, it's not fun. Not at all. So, and now they're trying to cast my cousin as being a bully. But it's like, what are you supposed to do? I mean, her job as a parent is to defend and advocate for her son and protect him from damaging environments, which is, racism. So, right. I mean, it's just kind of like, if she's not quiet and let it go, then... Yeah. So anyway, that's definitely been.
When there's another Black person working at the school in a decision-making capacity, you expect them to understand some of these things and to have your back on it, and really to kind of not even allow the things that put you in this place to begin with. Like
Yeah.
that's what we want, is to have more of us involved in the decision making so that fewer of these things even come to pass in the first place, that we even have to complain about them.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the school, I guess they got a bunch of the teachers to write an anonymous letter from the black, teachers at the school to defend why they chose this play. And they talked about all the different, pieces of black literature that can help, people have context about, racism in this country and the black experience. And they listed all of these other books. And I'm like, you have all these other books. Why are you not going to them? It's not like this is the only play in the world to talk about, this issue. So anyway,
Yeah.
yeah,
I guess so. They named a bunch of other books that could deal with race,
yeah,
but I guess those ones don't have N word all over them.
that's right. They do not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
I want to know what their logic is then. What did you
You
think
know,
you were doing? Why did you think this was the one? And it's not that Fences is bad. Like, it's a, I assume it's a great play. I've only seen the movie, but like, it's
it's
not
just
that
a
it's
very
bad.
heavy
Not
theme
the,
for 14-year-olds.
right. Yeah. That was how I felt when I first started. Oh, especially 14. 14 in class. Like, reading it by yourself is a completely different thing,
Reading it
especially
out
when you
loud
can,
in class when you're
yeah.
14.
Like,
Yeah,
kids already can't be serious. And then that,
yeah.
I guess I do kind of see the dilemma. I don't think this is the right way to deal with it, but I see the dilemma of like being a white teacher, white school, white district, white students, all that, and you want to teach race. You know that race has to be talked about, and it seems like some of them, their idea is like to go whole hog in the other direction. Like you went from not talking about race at all to having the most offensive conversations about
Hmm.
race, where we can try
Yeah.
to assume your heart's in the right place, but you're just doing it all wrong. Like, do you remember the stories about uh, students were teaching their kids about slavery by making the black kids slaves in the class? So like, or maybe it was switched around to the white kids were slaves. I don't remember what it was, but it was like you should not be simulating slavery to teach slavery. That's just a bad idea.
Yeah.
But they don't
Yeah.
know. They're
Well, the
so
school
ignorant.
sent a video home with the parents to calm concerns about using the racial epithets. So it
Hmm.
was a video from a black professor at Harvard that was aired on PBS explaining how different ways that you pronounce the word were indicated different meaning behind it, so that not every pronunciation was meant as a slur. And it was like, what? Like, what? How is this
And
supposed to make this play the right play and the right context for 14-year-old boys? I don't know. So it was,
yeah,
and a lot of there were other parents that complained, and white families too. I mean, it wasn't just black families that were not comfortable. So yeah, so I don't know. We'll see what happens, but her son was like supposed to be on the basketball team and all this stuff, and like and they told the kids not to speak to him lest they be expelled. So all of his friends are gone instantly. Yeah,
so I'm
yeah,
excommunicated from the school.
yeah, yeah,
This is what we're doing. Okay,
yeah,
that's insane.
yeah. So, anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. That is something that is going on with me this week. And so, I'm just getting tons and tons of, we're just exchanging tons of text messages and looking at news stories. And of course, there are the, nasty racist emails and things that my cousin is receiving. So, we're trying to provide
Of
support for that
course.
as well. Yeah, of course, of course. But anyway, how was your week, Arian? What did you do?
Um, did I do anything? Not really. Not much of just been eating and
Eating.
Eating, trying to go to sleep. My last day of work for the year was yesterday, so that was cool. I'm on leave till the year's done. Um,
Wow. You got 2 weeks leave? That's awesome.
yeah, yeah. Get a job with the government if you can. It's great.
I'm glad that my tax dollars are doing such a great job making you comfortable.
Hey, hey, we
Yeah.
work when we work, and then we don't when we don't.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, it's been a really simple week for me. Not Definitely
Gotcha.
don't have any news of family members ending up in the New York Times. Nothing like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So, let's see. And the other things that have been going on. So, I have done a lot of interviews with a lot of people. So, I'm really excited. I've got a couple more, and I think we've got enough to get to the new year. So,
Good stuff.
yeah. And, the conversations have really, really been fabulous. So, I'm really excited to share them. Now, did you have a chance to watch Michelle Hearn on Tuesday? Airing
I
it.
did. That was the dietitian's
Yeah.
dilemma.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think her book was, or well, her book and her story, I think, was really interesting. Obviously the amount of exercise that she does, and to a certain extent, the eating disorder is not something I have experience with, but just the general thinking about food, I think, is super, super helpful.
Apparently, it's a thing that happens a lot. I remember reading about, so there's all these things that increase anxiety, all these foods that we eat. And apparently, also, I've been told two different times that alcohol is one of them too. But we're talking about usually with eating disorders, they're starting earlier in life. So these kids aren't drinking. They're just, they're feeling anxious. And I don't really know which one starts it, but Lear Keith talks about this in Vegetarian Myth that they feed into each other. You're eating this food that makes you anxious. That anxiety makes you worry about your weight. So then you try to eat less and less. But the things that you are still eating are the foods that are making you anxious still. So you're still eating the plants that are making you anxious. That anxiety is further feeding into your eating disorder, and it's building on itself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Apparently that happens a lot, and apparently, um, I guess it's less likely to happen if you're eating meat.
Yeah. I think that's such an important point, is teasing out, what is just sort of mental disorder and what is like a physical problem with your actual brain. And I don't think that we give enough credit to, well, one, like the physical brain, and two, how food is impacting, that actual brain function. I think we think of the mind or your emotional state as being, something separate from the body, but like, it's a physical substance in the body. And if it doesn't have, the energy or the materials to operate properly, it's not gonna. And
Right.
so that goes to the idea of eating foods that make you anxious, and not really recognizing that what you're trying to use to heal and to soothe is actually causing the problem. And
Hmm.
I mean, even at a minute scale, I mean, obviously it's not the same as like with the anorexia, but like, you're having coffee and my having coffee, like I notice there is a big impact. And yet, something which I think helps me to stay awake and relax actually increases anxiety and worsens
Hmm.
sleep. So it's like, the cure is actually the cause.
Right, right. Like, and you would swear that it's something else. Like, oh no, I have to do something completely different with my life, and no, it's actually really simple. You just need to take away this thing that you were doing that was so not helpful. Like, speaking of coffee, I've been drinking decaf now exclusively for about
Yay!
it's been
Yay!
like
Oh,
three
wait,
weeks
I think I
now.
have something for this.
Oh wait, hit that soundboard.
Yay! I'm so
So,
proud. I can finally use this.
oh snap! Oh,
Okay, sorry, go on. So you have been having decaf coffee. Thank goodness. How are
DJ
you
8A,
feeling?
DJ
Yeah.
Khaled 8A. Um, the sleep has been much better.
Yeah.
It's felt like even if I, so there have been a couple days that I've been like up on the phone and I end up going to bed late. I still wake up like feeling pretty decent, and I may get tired later, take like an hour nap and be okay. But I haven't had many days of waking up feeling like crap like I did when I was having the coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll also have had a few days where I go to sleep at like 10:30, 11 o'clock, and oh, that sleep's magnificent.
Mm-hmm.
But I only need like 6 hours of it.
I keep thinking about you, and I'm like, let me try one of these nights of 10:30, and then, it comes and goes, and next thing I know, it's like 12:11. I'm like, oh man, and I still got to go walk the dog, and there's a bunch of other things that need to be done. Yeah, so
See,
I'm really trying to get one of those before 11 p.m. nights, but it hasn't worked yet.
it might actually change your life. Like you may do it and then realize. And so here's the thing, it feel it feels to me like I don't even need it every day. Like
Oh,
maybe
you
that would
don't
be
need a
ideal.
before 10 o'clock night every day?
No, it doesn't seem like it. I don't even feel like my body wants that. That may be me being biased towards what I want to do. I may be
Uh-huh.
making this all up, but I know that the last time I got one of those like 10:30 nights, I slept later the next like 3 4 nights or however many days and still felt just as rested.
Hmm.
Like it felt like
Okay.
my body caught up.
Okay. Okay. So there's really something to this. Like between 10 and 1, like something is actually happening during that time period that's not happening at other time periods.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
so.
All right. All
So
right. So I'm definitely, I'm going to try. I really, really am going to try.
yeah. I also find with the decaf that it's easier to just put the coffee down when I'm tired of it. Like I'm
Mhm.
paying attention to my hydration too and trying not to drink too much. So if I have like one, and I mean like 6 ounce cups, but like 1 or 2 cups of coffee, I realize as I go to refill it, I don't actually want any more.
Mhm.
And I can just put the cup down, turn the pot off, leave that whatever's left for tomorrow or pour it out. But like, I don't, it's easy to regulate. And it feels like it's actually easier to regulate now that there's no caffeine in it.
Yeah, I totally agree. The times that I've switched to decaf, it's just kind of like, I just kind of lose interest in it, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah. Good.
it's weird.
I am so proud of you. I am so proud of you. Oh
Thank
my
you.
God. Yes. Pat yourself on the back. So, but to go back to Michelle's interview, then,
Hmm.
yeah, like I think that it's really disheartening to see. I feel like in the Middle Ages we kind of I mean I don't know if we mock, but it's kind of like, oh my gosh, back then look at that, they used to let blood, and they talked about the four humors, and they used these barbaric methods to cure people, which probably did more harm than anything. And
Hmm.
yet, I don't know that we're all that far off from that now. The things that we the way that we eat really just has such a damaging effect on our bodies, and it's so disheartening to see people sort of struggling in that cycle.
Hmm. Do you mean in terms of?
Anxiety and eating sugar and junk food, and
Oh,
coffee and all of those things, just perpetuating the cycle.
yeah. It's actually really frustrating to realize that, like, for as advanced as our society is supposed to be, we're not very far off from what we were doing 70 years ago, 100 years ago. And actually, if you reach back not very long, you can probably about 100 years, we were
Mm-hmm.
healthier then. We're actually worse off now than we were then. We are not progressing. We are, in fact, like, I wouldn't even say regressing because we weren't that bad before, but we are further declining. Like, that's, yeah, we make fun of the Middle Ages. We make fun of every time before as if those people were so dumb, but they had some things right. And
Yeah.
part, maybe that was just because of scarcity. Like, if they had access to sugar, they'd be just as addicted as we are now, but they weren't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, that, like, I've seen people say, I've never looked at a graph or anything, so I don't know specifically, but I've seen people say that we deal with more mental health problems now than ever before.
Yeah.
Like, anxiety and depression are new diseases, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say so. And, I mean, I don't know if they're new diseases, but certainly, they're endemic. And, and the other, thing that's so disappointing is, well, my generation, Gen X, we are the first generation to die earlier than our parents and poorer.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and I definitely think that the way that we eat is a big part of that. So, I'm really curious to see, of my cohort, like what starts to shake out. But I think we're already seeing people are in pretty bad shape.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's been what I've seen. Like, my brothers are lucky so far. Both of them are Gen X, and I'm hoping to get them better before, because I see where they're going, especially one of my brothers. I see the path, and I don't like it. I don't want them to end up there.
Yeah, yeah. So, so I don't
But
know. Mhm.
she had the eating disorder and was like, she said she was 5 feet and like 57 pounds or something. Like, God,
Yeah, yeah.
that's
I was really,
so tiny. That,
yeah,
she said her BMI was 11 something. Like, that, that's scary to think about.
yeah.
Um, and did she say what happened in the middle of her life? Did she just start
We
eating
no.
again? But it was eating, it was still, because she was still pretty plant based. Because she said at one point she wasn't eating much meat.
Well, we didn't get back into talking about what happened in the middle years, but I presume she got better, but was still slim, still controlling her weight, probably with more vegetables. She said she ate meat, but it wasn't a lot. So she had red meat twice a week, which is what we're told to do. I mean, she,
Right.
like most Americans, started to listen and, limited red meat to once or twice a week and increased the amount of fish they had and stuff like that. So, so she was, more or less following the guidelines and increasing
Mm-hmm.
her carbs to help with her training. And it just kept getting worse and worse.
Right. So
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was the thing. That, I knew there was something else in there. She was eating 350 grams of carbs
Mm-hmm.
and reached out to other people doing that kind of exercise. And they said, mm, pull your carbs up. Try 400. See how that does you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, oh my
Well, when there's
God.
nothing else to suggest, I mean, there's nothing else to suggest. Fat is out, meat is out, protein, is limited. Like, there's nothing
Right.
else. Like,
What else can you
try some
do?
bumps of cocaine before you go. That might help. Like, there's nothing else to suggest. So yeah, I was
Oh
really
God.
glad though that she like somehow came across Carnivore and decided to give that a try, and what a difference it made. And that was like,
Hmm.
I think the most encouraging part of the interview was when she was saying that her wife after just a few weeks was like, this is the best I've seen you since I've known you.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah. And in just a few weeks, we talk about doing Carnivore for 30 days, 90 days, but really it doesn't take but, a few weeks to see changes in the brain that are huge. And that's what I'm saying. It's like we are, we're causing so many problems in our brains that are so quickly turned around. Like if you just know what and accept what's happening and make a quick change, like you can see a change in mood and energy in weeks, maybe
Hmm.
sooner. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it makes a huge difference, and it comes through uh, so quickly. And for her, she said like this is the best your anxiety has been in like our entire relationship, which at that point had been over like 10 years. Like that is
Mm-hmm.
huge. That's a person who knows you and who puts up with you day in, day out for all this time. And they're like, oh, this is breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah.
I want you to keep doing this, please.
Yeah. Yeah. So that if nothing else, that is a magnificent testament to to the power of the carnivore diet.
Hmm. Yeah, so that was huge. I also wonder. So her whole thing is dietitian's dilemma, and it's because she's a registered dietitian, and what she's teaching goes completely against everything that she was taught as a dietitian. And I wonder, like, for the folks who are carnivore and are dietitians, like, I feel like for her the writing is on the wall. She has to get out of that field. That's what it. That was the impression I got from her. I don't know if it's even possible to be
Well,
a
I asked her
dietitian.
in the beginning, like, you're getting ready to come out with this book, like,
Hmm.
like, how are your colleagues gonna respond? So
Yeah,
yeah, well, she
like
already
people
left
have
that
lost their
job.
license for that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So she already left the job that she was in, but she still has a license. So yeah, that could be in question. I
Yeah.
don't know. But
It,
I mean, I feel like I don't know. I feel like I'm so enmeshed in the carnivore world that it's very predominant for me. But then when I look out in the broader circle, in the broader world, I feel like it's more known than I think. What do you
you feel like
think?
carnivore is more known?
Yeah. Like I see
Uh,
references to it in articles, even if it's like don't do it. It's the fact is they've still heard of it. They're still talking
oh,
about it.
yeah. It's becoming a thing that is much more widely known than I would say even like 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe it's just me paying attention to the nutrition space more, but I do feel like it is talked about more than it used to be. There
Yeah.
are probably because of the so many people apparently watch and listen to that Joe Rogan show. So Michaela Peterson goes on there, Sean Baker goes on there, and then all these people know about carnivore now who had no idea that it existed.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does seem to be more popular. But I still think like those medical establishments are very slow to change. And she also said like they're going to the medical industry needs to keep you in the mill, she said. So you need to be, I can't have you dying on me because then you're not a customer anymore. But also, if I heal you, then you're not a customer anymore because you don't need me. So I got to keep you in between. And I don't know. It does almost, it feels like a conspiracy sometimes. Like the establishment knows that, oh, we could do this. It would heal everyone. We wouldn't, there would be no need for me anymore. And people like me.
Exactly. So, not to get all, crazy conspiracy theory, but, I agree. Totally. So, I think that this secret is going to bubble up from the people, from the bottom up. So, even as keto has been like the most searched diet term for like 3 years in a row, and people are still saying it's an obscure fad diet that nobody's interested in. And it's like, well, actually, I think the whole world is very interested in it. Yeah. So I think that you're going to find the same thing with Carnivore, and and so hopefully we will continue to have more and more people coming to this space, and wanting to be, wanting to get the information. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that'll be what happens, because it's weird to see these folks talk about. People talk about carnivore like it's not a thing, like it's not real, and I'm like, I don't.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's real. We're doing it.
Yeah, like clearly it is. Clearly it is, especially keto. Very clearly it is. I have people who know that I'm carnivore coming to talk to me about keto.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, they already knew that it was a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, they're just in denial.
So I don't know.
When you're,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, when you're a dietitian, and then when you learn the actual truth about the diet that does actually help people, what do you do? Because if you really practice that way, you're gonna tell all your clients all the stuff that is gonna get you, I don't know, like they're gonna revoke your license or something. Like,
yeah, that's, a very scary reality. So I don't envy her that.
like I've thought about, would it be interesting for me to get a dietitian's education just to have? But then I thought, what good would that do to spend all that money doing that just to go the exact opposite direction as soon as I graduate?
Yeah, no way. Don't do it. Yeah. And, we do have people like Nutrition with Judy and like Michelle who are, writing and pulling together studies and stuff like that. And unless, that's of real interest to you to really get into the sciencey part of it, I don't see the value of going and getting a degree like that, to go against everything and potentially risk your license all the way.
Right. So, that I just spent all this money and time trying to get.
Yeah. So it's just like, no licenses, no none of that. Just help people, support people, and help provide a space and information, really.
Right.
So yeah. So the other thing I really, exactly. The other thing I really liked about her story is, just how open-minded and interested she is, and like the desire to find more studies and find more information, and then to provide like testimonials and that sort of thing. So if you guys read the book, I am one of the testimonials in the book. Very excited about that.
Yay!
Yeah, yay. Yeah.
You're in a book. That's cool.
Yeah. Well, this is my second one. I'm also in Grass-Fed Girls book. I provided a testimony for her as well. But yeah. But Michelle, specifically wanted to be very diverse, and and she was very supportive during the difficult times back in June. So she was really an ally, and so I really appreciate that. And there were people she did not include in her book because they were so anti-diverse and awful. So so that's really so that was really great, and I really appreciated that.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
go ahead.
I was just thinking that was it was good to hear her like I like hearing a white person specifically say there is clearly racism, like without
Mm-hmm.
qualification, without hemming and hawing around it, to just tell the truth. It was refreshing, and I guess it shouldn't be, but it is.
Yeah. And publicly on record,
Right.
not whispered to me or sent in a text message.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. So Michelle is awesome. Really, really awesome person. Now, so I encourage you all. The book has not come out. I think it's like scheduled maybe in February. It's a little ways away. So, there you go. And then the other thing that I wanted to mention, one Saturday, Deborah is coming back for one night only. Oh my God, we're gonna do it
Yeah.
Saturday night. I hope you all can be there. Please give me a thumbs up in the chat if you are excited and if you are going to be there on Saturday. I would love to see it. I know Deborah has really been missing everybody, and I know you all have been missing her, and it'll be great to have a hangout and a conversation. Unfortunately, Arian is not going to be there on Saturday. He, unbelievably made plans in the weekend before Christmas on a Saturday night. I don't know what he was thinking. So, he's going to be enjoying, the holiday season, doing whatever. But we'll be here, and we're going to be chatting, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So I hope that you all will come. I hope so.
Doing whatever just sounds like you're just sure like Arian's going to be doing all the drugs on Saturday and you're going to be on YouTube being good.
Well, you're going to be having a lot of fun. I'm not saying anything about drugs, but a lot of fun. And no drugs. Saturday night, though, just social. I don't even know what people do Saturday nights now. I'm getting to the age where there's no more Saturday night. It's just another night. Perhaps a night to get to bed early. I don't know. And of course, in this era, and now there's nothing to do. So, yeah. And we had this, we were supposed to have a nor'easter, but it was about 3 to 5 inches of snow, not a big deal. So, yeah. So now it's dirty, wet snow. But it was fun this morning. It was all fresh. Went to the park. A lot of fun.
It was cool. Yeah, when I was out in my parking lot, and it was cool to like be in my boots and crunch on icy snow. Like, oh yeah, winter's here. Winter's for real here, and we actually got winter in December, which doesn't always happen.
Yeah, I know, right? Sometimes you have to wait till January.
Right. Yeah, but winter's here now, and we got the snow to prove it. I like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I won't be there live, but I can't wait to see it. I think it's going to be cool to finally have that back for a night.
Yeah. And so hopefully she will be so entranced that, she'll want to come back again, maybe in the new year or maybe once a month. I don't know. Maybe we'll do it more often. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully.
So yeah, that's really exciting. I'm looking forward to it. But then on Tuesday, I think I've got to check my records, but I believe the next interview is with the Southwest Black ranchers who are starting a ranch. Yeah,
The
starting a
couple.
ranch, yeah, in Arizona. So that's really exciting too. It was a great conversation, and I think that they've got a lot on their plate, and they're starting a ranch, which is a whole big deal in and of itself. Building houses, building this and that, the whole deal. But they were, they come out of health and fitness, so they always did prioritize animal proteins. But I think that they started looking at more of our videos here at Black Carnivore, and are definitely much more curious. So even after our conversation, they sent a message like, "Wow, this is really interesting." So I don't know. We might have some people who, dip their toe into carnivore or maybe do it cyclically. But they're definitely, I think, very curious and interested in the science behind a carnivore diet. So, yeah. So I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful.
That would be great. I think also that it just helps just understanding that you need to be meat based and not being scared of meat. Um,
Yeah.
even if so, it would be great if they do go carnivore. I think that would be of benefit for everybody. Just
Yeah.
fundamentally, that is a thing that I believe that everyone would benefit from going carnivore. But if they don't do that, then at least they understand that meat is important, meat is necessary.
Yeah. Yeah. And hopefully that fat is important too. I don't know if you saw the most recent Amber O'Hearn put out. I guess there was another lecture of hers about humans being lipivores, or maybe it was a conversation. There was, I think,
I
Dr. Paul
see.
Mason
The
reviewed it.
lipivore, what is fat for?
Yeah, but then I think there were a set of doctors that reviewed it afterwards and like commented on it. So I thought that
Oh,
was really interesting. Yeah.
okay. Well, I see the one she did.
Yeah.
I don't see the commentary video, but yeah, I would
So, I
pretty much
just,
every time she talks, it's great. Sorry.
yeah. Yeah. But it's important to make sure that we're, not only talking about animal protein, but we're talking about animal fats. And, it's still hard to get past that whole anti-fat, anti-saturated fat notion. And yeah, and this weekend, like, we have a family call every week, and somebody found like a big box of family photos and just started pulling photos out. So I saw a picture of my grandfather on my father's side, who I've never seen a picture of before, and was, he had died before I was born. So that was sort of stunning. We were talking about
Yeah,
him, and
it's
my
cool.
dad was, yeah. And my dad was like, well, he died early, and it was a shame, but he ate badly. I mean, he ate himself in. And I said, well, what did he eat? I don't know anything about him. And, he was like, oh, egg yolks and fatty meats and, meat and fatty foods. And I was just like, oh, God, I don't even want to battle this. Just tell me more about, Granddad Jack, or,
Hmm.
I don't want to hear about all this. But yeah, then I heard stories about how he used to love egg yolks, and the kids would eat the whites and he would eat the yolks. And yeah, and it's like, okay. But meanwhile, like, I think everybody in my father's side of the family, like, a lot of them are really addicted to sugar, but not heavy,
Hmm.
so, and so a lot of that stuff sort of slides by, but, because they just didn't get that heavy.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of a shame that like we only understand eating as affecting weight, not affecting anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So we, as a society, so we feel like, oh, if you're unless you're overweight, your eating is fine. Your eating is good.
Yeah.
And if you're one of those people that like we always say like, oh, they can eat anything they want. It doesn't make them any fatter, and we just
Yeah.
assume that that means that they won some genetic lottery, but
Yeah.
not really. They're still
Yeah.
sick, not in the way that you can outwardly see.
Yeah. And, and it really is, it messes with your head in such a way. And so to bring it back to Michelle's point about how her anxiety levels in a few weeks dropped enough for, her partner to really sit down and have like a heart to heart about how much better she was. It's
Hmm.
like, given how much people are struggling with anxiety and depression and all this other stuff, like that is a really big deal.
Yeah.
And perhaps, even more, I mean, actually, I don't know what the statistics are, but I would be curious to know how much mental health problems people have versus obesity. Like, I wonder if it's even more
Mm,
expansive, the anxiety than the obesity.
that's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would be interested to know. I definitely, it's up there, if nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's high enough that it's on the same level. It's not like anxiety is like 10% or something, and then
Yeah.
obesity is like 60. Like
Yeah.
it's got to be up there.
Yeah.
Um, because yeah, that like just the idea that oh, here's this thing that affects so many people, and you really could fix it. Um,
In a few weeks with the
right,
food you like.
and that's what I think people don't get. Um, I guess like we're taught the folks who have anxiety, like you have this conversation with your doctor that explains like what this is that you're dealing with, and it seems like it's not really taught correctly because the doctors, the same with most chronic diseases, they just think like this is just a thing that happens, and you happen to be the lucky son of a gun who got this one. So, welcome to the rest of your anxious life. And they don't say like you
Welcome to the
could,
rest of your anxious life.
right?
You won the
Like, 'cause-
lottery.
right, because like this is gonna be
It's
you,
the worst lottery that you could ever enter. Yeah.
right?
Anxiety, bipolar, schizophrenia. Which one?
Right, right. Um, like that's just gonna be you forever. So there is no perception that like, oh, I can actually get rid of this if I dealt with this other thing that was causing it. But the doctor has no idea that that thing is causing it. They don't think that diet and mental health are related in any way. Um, and that actually that brings up um, I was reading this book. I'm trying to actually finish this book so that I can then work on finishing Why We Get Sick. But this was the book I'd started first.
Are you still
And
talking about why we get sick? Come
oh,
on.
dude, I haven't
It's
cracked
been
that
like
thing
six
open.
months. It's been like
It's
six
been a
months.
while. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is how it goes. I have a stack
Okay.
of books, probably this tall. I don't know, taller than the camera of
Okay.
books I need to read. Why We Get Sick jumped the list to even get touched this year. But anyway,
Okay.
so the girl in this other book, she's talking about her mental health. You don't know what's going on at the time. She's kind of you're in the story with her, as opposed to her telling you in the back end on the back end, like, hey, so this was my bipolar disorder, but at the time I didn't realize I was bipolar. And she's talking about what she ate, and she's just I don't know that even her now being not healed but like better than what she was then, I don't know if she recognizes that what she was eating was not at all supporting her mental health and it was making her
Mm-hmm.
worse
Mm-hmm.
because she's like living out of a suitcase, traveling all the time, so like getting really poor sleep, and then when she's at the hotel, all she's eating is fruit and bagels.
Mm.
There's no nutrition in
Wow.
that.
Yeah. It's not
And
even the good stuff. I mean, like pancakes and waffles. You eat
no,
fruit and bagels.
right, yeah. And I'm
Ugh.
like carnivore brain Arian is going, oh crap. you didn't even realize that you were eating the absolute like worst things.
Yeah.
You like all this sugar, all these anti-nutrients, not a hint of absorbable protein. The only minerals and vitamins you're getting are what that stuff is fortified with, and your anti-nutrients are probably zapping all those out too. Like you were kind of, you may have already been on the path, but you were furthering your mental health problems by eating this way. Um, it's really not a thing we think about enough, and it does. To the point now where if you were to talk about that, like if you were to meet a person who says like, yeah, I have an anxiety disorder, and you go, hey, here's a thing that could really help with that. Stop eating plants. Like they're gonna that advice. If you're lucky, it's gonna go in one ear and out the other. If you're
Yeah.
unlucky, they're gonna be angry at you for even suggesting that and think that
Yeah.
you're being dismissive of what they're going through or something like that. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I don't talk about it as often, but the change in my mood and and I guess anxiety level is very significant. I mean, I feel like I'm a different person because of the changes that I've made and how I eat. So,
mm-hmm.
I think that is something that I should probably talk about more. Um, it's a really big difference, really big. And even
Probably.
as a kid, like I always knew that I felt better eating protein for breakfast, and my day would go better, and I would feel better if I ate some for breakfast. I didn't know that I could not eat carbs. But I had a friend who used to make fun of me because I would eat like spaghetti bolognese for breakfast, and the first time he made fun of me, I'm like, it's food. Like, what is your problem? Like, food is appropriate for any time of day or night.
mm-hmm.
But in his mind, it was like oatmeal or cereal, or maybe pancakes is appropriate for breakfast. But I'm like, it's food. And I feel good when I eat it. And,
Yeah.
and I have a lot of bolognese with a lot of beef in it. And I like that, because the way I make my spaghetti sauce is it's like, mostly meat and a little spaghetti sauce.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, I've had people at my job when I used to go actually into the office. I had one guy say to me one time, I was either walking to the kitchen or back from the kitchen. So I'm in the hallway and he sees
Mhm.
my whatever I'm holding, and he's like, "Oh, rough day, dinner for breakfast." And I'm in my head because I have leftovers in my
Yeah.
plate, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, "Dude, shut up," because no, this is about to be one of the best breakfasts I've had. Like,
Wait, what's
it
wrong
was.
with dinner for breakfast or breakfast
People
for
are
dinner?
weird, man. People are so effing weird. Like, oh no, the only time you can have dinner is at. They even feel like there's a specific lunch. Like lunch is supposed to be a light thing. So, um, and that's what pisses me off about restaurants having lunch menus. And what that means is just it's a smaller portion of the dinner menu. Um,
Mhm.
I'm here to eat. Period. Don't tell me what I'm allowed to eat or how much I'm allowed to eat just because it's 12 o'clock and not 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
But they they have these weird ideas, which I feel like probably are modern ideas about what goes at what time. So yeah, it's like you said, it's like if it's not pancakes or oatmeal or eggs and bacon along with some sort of starch, like that's not breakfast.
Mhm.
That's,
Yeah.
y'all are missing out. Y'all are making this thing way more complicated than it needs to be.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, that's why I do encourage people to eat, whatever you want at any time of day. Don't get sucked into these roles about what is breakfast, what is lunch, what is dinner. That makes things harder. So yeah, when I order a steak for breakfast, it's like even worse than the spaghetti bolognese. It's like, oh, what is wrong with you? You're like eager to die. You're running down that path to death.
Where are you ordering a steak from at 9 in the morning?
Well, restaurants, they have it. Sometimes they do steak and eggs, but it's there. There's a grill and it's there. Like, put it next to the bacon. Like, what's the problem?
In fact, serve the bacon on top of my steak.
Yeah, I don't mind bacon grease. Right next to it. See, yeah, Katora says you can order from the dinner menu at lunch. I agree. The food's there. It's in the restaurant. It's not that hard.
I feel like they discourage it because they don't make it clear that you can do that on the menu.
Oh, they absolutely discourage it. But so what?
So yeah. I don't even think of it as a thing.
Yeah.
Like as a
you have to.
A possibility.
But you have to now. And like Katora is saying that steak and eggs used to be her jam at Denny's. But I also learned that at IHOP and other places, they put pancake batter in the eggs. So, it's like you can't even trust that scrambled eggs is carnivore or even keto. And that's so distressing. And, I used to like get those egg bites from Starbucks. They were the quiche Lorraine ones. So it was just bacon and eggs. But and cheese. But in fact, when you look at the wrapper, it has 9 grams of carbs per serving because they put rice flour in it. And it's like, why would you ruin a perfectly good food?
Yeah.
With rice flour and 9 grams, not 1 gram, not 2 grams, but 9. That means there's got to be a lot, like a tablespoon of rice flour added to each egg bite.
Why is there flour in my meat, in my eggs?
Yeah, exactly. So, Katora says it's true. So she has to ask for the whole egg at Denny's. That's the only way.
You ask for whole eggs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if you ask for like fried egg, they're obviously going to use an actual egg. But if you ask for scrambled egg, they're going to take the scrambled egg mix that they've already mixed up with the batter and everything in it.
Oh.
Or, well, Miss Tatey is saying you have to ask them to make your eggs with real eggs. Or ask for shelled eggs wherever you go. So, I mean, this is true for everywhere because I hear that they do this at restaurants as well. At hotels and stuff as well. So, generally speaking, when you get eggs, like, I don't know that you can trust the scrambled eggs. Like when you're at a hotel and they have the big tray and, it's sitting on the sternos. Like, I don't know. I don't know what those are. They may or may not be just plain scrambled eggs.
You know what? Conspiracy is coming out. At those like breakfast bars and stuff, I always feel like those eggs don't fill me up as much as they're supposed to. I end up getting a plate full of eggs and still not feeling as full as I would, I think, if I had cooked that many eggs myself.
Yeah. Yep. There you go. Yeah. And Erica says, why put sugar in our meat? They inject rotisserie chickens with dextrose.
Yeah. That's why I started one time. I don't know if she's still on, but Seabliss might remember we were talking and I'm like in Sam's Club and I'm like, oh, these chickens smell so good. I'm about to buy one of these chickens. And then she said, check the ingredients. And I look and like somewhere like probably third ingredient in the spice rub was like, it either was straight up sugar or maltodextrin. I'm like, oh my God, why?
Well, it's like every spice rub has sugar in it, and I think it partly helps the chicken to brown more, or the meat to brown more, and to get that, you know, crispy Maillard reaction that everyone likes.
Hmm.
So it's like nothing, just can't get anything that has been pre-seasoned like that, because it's just always going to have sugar in it.
Yeah, so disappointing.
Yeah. So, you know, but in any event, I think it is really important to pay attention to those things, because a lot of times we, you know, we think, well, you know, oh, that sucks, but it was annoying, whatever, and it's over. But sometimes, you know, those little slips can get that cycle going on in your brain again. And so you might notice, you know, for the next week or two that you're craving more, you're more irritable, you're having more fights, and you might not even make that connection. But in fact, you know, that little bit, you know, I like to think, oh, you know, it's just a little bit, like how big a deal it is. It could it be? But, you know, whether it's a smaller amount or a big amount, it has an effect, it has an impact. And so, you know, pay attention when these things happen, or when you start feeling like you're noticing that you're more irritable or cranky. Look back and see what you've been doing or what's changed over the previous few weeks, because it might be that, you know, there's something that, you know, you started taking a new supplement, or you ate somewhere out, and it may be that there in fact was some sugar and flour and stuff.
Yeah, and that's the really frustrating part, and it's what ends up with, I think, most carnivores, especially long term carnivores, have just decided, like, I don't really eat out. I don't care to.
Yeah.
Unless it's like going to a steakhouse that I know I can trust to just give me a steak. Um, and at that point, I don't know about you, but I start feeling like, why am I spending all this money?
Yeah.
Like,
To
to
make
go
a steak that
somewhere,
I can do better at home.
what's the freaking point? If I
Yeah.
like spend like 35, $40 on
Yeah.
a good steak, just to know that I could have bought this at home, because I'm not going to let you do anything special to it. Like, especially when folks like are to the point, like, especially if you have like allergies where you're like, I don't trust the dry rub. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want you to put that stuff on the steak. I just want a naked steak cooked in butter. You could do that at home for half as much money. You could buy a prime steak and do that at home for cheaper than being at that restaurant.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely.
Like, it gets to the point where I just feel like I've realized that my tolerance for all sorts of eating food that I didn't cook is really, really low now, because it just feels like a waste of my time and a waste of my money.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree. So I mean, you know, of course we've got the whole world, you know, changing, but I still have been out to a restaurant twice in that time, and you know, and I'm not eager to go and to do that. It's like going out to eat is only delicious or delightful or interesting when it is, you know, carby foods, like, you know, or the types of foods that are too hard to prepare yourself at home. I think that's what I
Right.
use restaurants for, is to get, you know, get these things that I wouldn't or couldn't cook at home. Like, I'm never going to like deep fry french fries. But yeah. But now that those
Exactly.
things are not of interest to me, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Like, there's this whole this whole industry that, like, for you doesn't need to exist, but
Mhm.
you used to support it like everyone else did, and now it's like,
Yeah.
why? I
Yeah.
find myself regularly thinking, um, every time like someone's thinking about, oh, what should we eat? I'm thinking, I'd rather
Beef
just
or
be home.
beef?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, somebody asked me what animal am I eating today, and I was like, the same one I eat every day, beef.
Yeah.
Like, that question is gonna get boring really fast, because I have two answers. Either I had like eggs and bacon in the morning, or eggs and beef bacon in the morning, and then some sort of beef was dinner. Like, 9 times out of 10, that's it. And
Yeah.
then that 1 out of 10 is going to be either pork or lamb.
Yep, that's the big trio there for me.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I see Katora says that she feels that way about everything except brisket. She's not making brisket at home. But now I've learned how to make brisket, and it's super easy. It takes a long time, but it's super easy. So highly, highly encourage you to give it a try. I put it in the oven at 300 degrees, covered, sealed with aluminum foil, and oh my God, it's delicious. And thanks to Charmaine and Virginia for guiding me on making that. And actually, I made a pork shoulder last week. I think it took 9 hours, but it was so good. And the skin was so good. Oh my God. I think I ate most of the skin, and then the next day at my next meal, I then ate the meat. But yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah. I know what's up. Eat the best first.
Right.
Yeah, you never know when your next meal is going to be. I could be dead, but if I eat the best thing first, I've gotten it. Yeah. Yeah. And then Erica says, when I was on tour with my band, finding plain unadulterated meat was almost impossible. Oh my God. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know how you do it. That really, I can't imagine. That must really be a struggle.
Yeah, I've never needed to eat out. Being carnivore, I've never needed to do it for longer than maybe like a weekend. To have to do that day in, day out for longer than that, that would suck.
Yeah. Now, Erica says I could always make carny fries. What are those? So please write in.
Yeah, she might be talking about the bits of the trimmings cut into like a fry shape and fried.
Oh, God. That would be the worst. I would just not stop eating.
Right.
Not stop eating.
And Bayet says how many have their own sushi bar at home. Like, that's a good reason to eat out. And that's actually a kind of eating out that I would gladly do. Because you can get the sushi, I forget what it's called, but the kind that's just the fish and none of the rice at all. Okay, that's sashimi. Maki is the one where it's rolled up with the seaweed and the rice, right?
Maki, I don't know. Sure.
Okay. Anyway,
I'm not a sushi person, so.
Okay, but you knew sashimi. You just had that on the tip of your tongue, but you're not a. Okay.
Well, I've been ordering that for a long time because I went low carb a long time ago, and I just, don't love sushi. Never really did. So yeah, I've had sashimi far more than I've had sushi.
Okay. So that would be a good reason to go out, and that would be a kind of going out to eat that I couldn't reproduce at home.
Yeah. Well, you could, but it might be risky.
Well, yeah, it's risky. It's probably expensive. It's going to be more of the one kind of fish than I even want.
Yeah, fish is, that's a little bit riskier to eat raw without proper care. Now, Erica's carny fries are pork rinds, eggs mixed up into a dough, then flattened and frozen, and then cut into shapes and fried. Wow. Yeah, and Seabliss says maki is rolled.
Okay. Yeah, so maki is the one. I did buy sushi. All right, so I bought grocery store sushi, and it was.
That doesn't sound.
Because I know that it's not good sushi. It was, even if it was made good, it wasn't made fresh for me right then. Like, it was made and then put in a package, and who knows how long that package has been out there today. But yeah, it was a good little treat along with whatever meat I had to just take the fish off of the rice ball and to just eat the fish. But it didn't.
Well, I used to like negamaki, which was beef rolled up with scallions in, I think, in the seaweed roll.
Oh.
So it's, they say, when you look it up, it's like an American style sushi that they made, because that's not common in Japan. but it is more common here.
That
So
sounds
that was
cool.
what I know. I mean, that's what I would get before. But of course, it's got the sugary sauce and blah blah blah,
Mm.
teriyaki sauce, which was so good, but so bad. So
Oh,
I don't
these are
know.
good. I want some of this now.
Well, yeah. I mean, but you're already eating better. You're eating a steak. That's negamaki times 10.
Yeah, but there's something about it being in these cute little rolls, and they cut it at an angle, and
Okay, so slice up your steak and cut it at an angle and roll it up into little florets and leave it on your plate.
no, I'm gonna find a place that sells negamaki and
But it's
grab
in
some.
teriyaki sauce.
There's no way you can get it without the teriyaki?
I don't know. I mean, you could ask.
I wonder if it's even good without the teriyaki.
I don't know. Katura says it's not sounding more appealing than a fatty steak. Agreed.
No, it's definitely not, but it's just when you hear about something different, you want that different thing.
Yeah. All right, well, go for it. Negamaki. That was the thing that I had found that I liked. It was my sushi, my version of sushi that I was more comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um, so sidebar to what we were talking about earlier, I've been quietly
Mm-hmm.
looking this up. Apparently, anxiety affects 18% of the US adult population, and obesity is 42.4%.
Mm. And
So,
I wonder about the
about 20%
kids
in the
because
population.
I think more kids are suffering than ever before. So I wonder if you add the kids, like what is the percentage?
Hmm, that's a good question.
But in any event, and I mean, of course, there's so much stigma around any mental health stuff that of course, so many people are um, undiagnosed.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
um,
bad. That's
yeah,
20%. So one fifth of the population. Wow. And the other
yeah,
one is two fifths. Oh, that's a lot. It's a lot of people.
yep, yep. So we're gonna be part of this little exclusive club that is still in good shape in our 60s,
Yeah,
70s.
apparently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Good night, Sea Bliss.
Good night. Oh,
And
and
suggests you try
mhm.
aminos. That'll give you
uh,
some of that Japanese flavor.
I've heard people talking about that. She
Hmm.
also said, "Don't forget this. Let him be fancy." Yes, let me be fancy. If I want to do my, not even do. If I want to buy the steak that way, because that's the other thing. I'm lazy. So
Hmm.
if someone else is gonna make me a steak that way, that's
Hmm.
something I'm willing to pay for because I don't want to cook my steak that way. You want to know how I ate steak today? I had I cut everything off of the bone of a T-bone and cut it into like inch and a half thick strips. Put it in the air fryer, 5 minutes, steak is done.
Love it. Love it. That's so. I mean, that's amazing. And like I said, that's how I do my little steak bites because it makes it gets so crispy that way without getting overdone inside. Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah,
actually, I think 5 minutes might have been a bit too much. Maybe four would be better, or I have to
yeah,
use thicker pieces.
yeah,
Because yeah, I want the outside to get the sear, and I want the inside to still be really kind of reddish pink, pinkish red.
mm-hmm,
Um, and yeah, it's great for that.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
I am cooking extremely simply. Like somebody asked in one of the Zooms recently, like, what are we doing for as far as like spices? And I think a lot of us had like just dropped spices altogether. We're like, I just kind of
Yeah,
use salt,
yeah.
salt the food to taste, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Taste the meat.
So what are you doing for Christmas? Now, first of all, next week, Christmas Eve is on Thursday. So I propose that we do not have a show on Christmas Eve, and I will just put out a video.
That works.
Okay. So I hope all of you here, you heard that, you're listening. We are, I'll premiere an interview, but we won't have a live stream.
Yeah, Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
You were saying?
Yeah, so I was gonna say, so what are you doing for Christmas, like food wise? Are you, gonna stick to like the plan, or are you just gonna eat all the foods? Like Thanksgiving, since we already had a run with Thanksgiving, what are you gonna do with Christmas?
Probably the same thing as Thanksgiving. Like I'll eat what's there that day, and the only leftovers I'm taking are gonna be the meat, and I'll be right back on track the very next meal. But yeah, that day, pretty much whatever's there, I'm gonna eat, except for like the cornbread, because I just don't really like cornbread.
What's wrong with you? Are you black? I don't understand.
Hey, I do a ton of other black things. I used to love watermelon when I was eating fruit all the time. Me and fried chicken have never not gotten along, but yeah.
Actually, I don't like fried chicken.
What? But you got some nerve.
Yeah. I like the fried part. I just don't like the chicken part. So if I could just eat fried chicken skin, all in. But, the chicken itself, ugh.
I could see doing that.
So I finally just gave up because no one would let me eat just the skin and then leave the chicken on the plate. So
you know what?
Yeah.
You gotta find a good Asian carry-out place. Like, I think, is it Thai people? It's not Japanese, I don't think. I think it's like one of the Southeast Asian cultures. They do fried chicken skins a lot.
Yeah.
Except you gotta hope that it's fried in a decent oil, which it probably isn't.
It's not. It's never gonna be. Are you kidding? No. But wings are as close as I can come to eating chicken because there's so little meat in it in comparison to the skin. But yeah. So yeah, I gave up on fried chicken a long time ago.
Wow. Was this before or after you went carnivore?
Oh, this was like in the 90s. I gave up on fried chicken I hate chicken. I don't think you quite understand how much I hate chicken.
Wait a
minute. Always. Didn't you
post a picture of like you frying chicken or something?
Yeah, and that's what's so stunning about it because, well, first of all, I wouldn't eat the chicken otherwise. This chicken appeared, it came to me, so I did not buy it, I did not choose it, I would never have gone out and gotten it. And let me tell you, 2 pieces of chicken came. There's still another one in the freezer now. I still haven't eaten. But frying it was the only way to make it even remotely acceptable. And that helped a lot. But, it's still chicken. So I think it was in 2004. I was, I was low carb then, although I wasn't necessarily like, we weren't even using the word keto. I wasn't really counting carbs like that. But I was eating, what, we were told to eat, like more chicken and turkey. And I finally one day was like, I hate chicken and I am never, ever, ever eating it again. And I don't care what anybody says. So after that, I only got turkey. Yeah. I only got turkey. And it was ready to
fight all y'all.
Yeah. Yeah. So, me and fried chicken we have not been on good terms since like the 90s. And even as a kid, like it was always an issue. My grandmother would be like, you can't have another piece. You haven't finished your own. And I'm like, it's dry, which of course, you can't say that. So it's just like, oh, I guess I
Good way
can't
to
eat
get
it. I'm
started.
not getting any more dinner. Yeah. Yeah. But
20 fried chickens, skin only, and throwing the rest away. Would you do that?
I was not allowed to do that, and I couldn't do that. So, yeah.
But see, I was thinking you could just give the actual meat to Ruby. Like, she'd probably eat the meat, and you could just eat the skin.
She absolutely would eat the meat, but I I mean, I got to keep her health up too.
Oh, is the chicken gonna be bad for her?
Yeah, it's not great.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I see. She definitely doesn't do as well eating more chicken.
Mm, damn,
Wow, Erica made a treat for me. Chicken wings and pork belly strips. Now that sounds good.
it
Yeah.
does. I would like
And if
that.
I if I win the lottery, yeah, I'm gonna be eating fried chicken skin and throwing the rest away.
Just buying
Yeah,
whole chickens just to harvest the
yeah,
skin off, and who
yeah,
cares about that chicken
yeah.
carcass?
But I think it was all those years. Like, yeah, Miss Tatey is saying that all these years of being told to eat, chicken, white meat, keep it, low calorie, and I mean, I haven't given you all the context that my mom, one of her specialties was chicken cutlets, where she would rub mayo and mustard on top of it and put it in the oven to broil it under the fire
Oh
for 10
yeah,
minutes and serve that for dinner. So I have been scarred with chicken breast. Like, chicken breast can be so
this.
bad. You don't know how bad a chicken breast can be, especially in the hands of an inexperienced or a reluctant cook. So, I hate it for good reason.
Right, and that's what a cutlet is, right? It's just a breast
Chicken
cut
breast.
into smaller pieces.
Yeah.
Don't give it a special name. It's the same old boring chicken.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the worst part of the chicken.
Yeah.
Um,
So, thigh is better, but it's not great.
no, even when I would cook thighs, I would eat like two, and still not really be full, but just like
Oh,
satisfied
yeah.
enough that I could get through the night. But like, it takes a lot. Like, even
Takes a waffle. That's what it takes to get full.
right, right. You end up putting that with it, and then you're like, oh, okay, good. Now this
Yeah.
works.
Fried chicken
Like
and
people talk
waffles,
about
that
like
works.
eating whole chickens and like going like, oh, geez, there's something wrong with me. I can eat this whole chicken by myself, and I'm like, well, yeah, it's chicken. It's one of the most unsatisfying animals that
Hmm.
there are.
Yeah, I mean, once I mixed in mayo and made chicken salad and put it on a sandwich, then it started to be of enough substance to make me feel
Mhm.
full. But yeah, but I don't know. So anyway, that's me and chicken. So in that respect, you can call me
Right.
not black, but I loved cornbread. I don't know how
Yeah,
you didn't. Yeah.
because it just so the only time that so my parents never make sweet cornbread. They are
Mm.
firmly against sweet cornbread to the point where there is no sugar, not just even like a little bit of sugar. There's literally none in the cornbread they make. So the way my dad makes it is like he makes hoe cakes. So that's the cornbread cooked like a pancake in a stove in a pan on the
Yeah.
stove.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, chicken is a weak bird. Exactly right.
Yeah.
um, and then my mom makes hers lighter. Like she uses like I think like half cornmeal, half flour, but it's still like not sweet, so it doesn't
So
taste like
they're not
anything.
picking up the 25-cent Jiffy box?
Oh hell no, no.
Yeah.
My dad would
So
feel
the,
insulted if you tried to serve him Jiffy cornbread. He'd probably smack it out your hand.
Yeah, we made the Jiffy, and my mom would put actual corn in it, like get a can of corn and drain it out and put the corn niblets in. I loved that.
I hate that so much. Jiffy's okay. If Jiffy was a little more moist, actually, Jiffy would be really good. So I
You
have
gotta
had
put the
sweet
corn,
cornbread
the niblets in. That moistens it
but
up.
but then you got all these chewy bits of corn in what's supposed to be
Yeah,
bread. No, I don't like that. Like I don't like
cornbread.
that. I don't. No, no, no. It's because it's bread. It's bread first, and then it's corn. I don't want bits of corn. I don't want a whole different texture in my bread. That's like a. I don't like people put raisins in a bunch of different sweets, like sweet breads, and I'm always like, why?
Yeah, I'm with
Why
you
did
with
you do this?
raisins. That's just ruining good stuff.
All right, you just made
Um,
a thing chewy that wasn't supposed to be chewy.
yeah, yeah. But creamed corn in, and that's got your moisture. I never made creamed corn, but the first time I had creamed spinach, I was like, oh my god, this is great. Why did nobody serve this to me? I wouldn't have complained about eating spinach if this is what was served to me.
Hmm.
It's so much better.
I think
Oh,
I've
and
had.
Erica put cracklins in their cornbread. Yeah, see? There you go. Like, getting creative. I never had that either, but that sounds like it would have been awesome.
That sounds good, cracklings. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's not that I hate all cornbread. It's that like just about nobody makes cornbread that tastes good to me.
Yeah, you gotta add sugar. I don't know what's wrong
Yeah,
with your parents. You have to add
it's
sugar.
they refused.
Yeah.
And but you know what? This is what they would do. So the cornbread itself would not be sweet at all. And then they're not
Then
from the
they
South,
offer
but
honey butter.
they're no Alaga syrup. So this is like
Oh.
some deep South stuff that they
So
picked up from
they
their
are really
family.
committed to
Oh
that
yeah.
southern thing.
I mean, it's how they grew up. So both of them, well, my mom's from Detroit, my dad's from Cleveland. But yeah, so
Hmm.
like firmly Midwest. But one generation up, everybody's from the South, like Alabama, Mississippi, North Carolina.
Right.
So yeah, Alaga syrup and that, like, you mix it with butter. And all right, Johnny, you're going a little far now. Hates my mom's cooking. You have clearly not had my mom's cooking. There is no such thing as
No,
hating
no,
her
he's
cooking.
saying you hate it.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Impossible. It's not possible for anyone to hate my mom's cooking. I just don't like her cornbread. That is all. Don't don't get Janice to come up here and put the belt to me. That's I haven't had that in years and years. I'm not trying to start that again.
Oh no.
But yeah, they would like mix the Alaga syrup with butter that had been like just kind of maybe a little bit melted, and like mash the cornbread into that and eat that.
Well, there you
And
go. That's how you get the sweetness. But
right,
you
so
don't
there's
like
the
that.
sweet. Mm-mm. Like that syrup is like basically um, molasses. I don't really like the taste of that too much.
Yeah. Yeah. One of my my mom's friends, she was like a hippie type and she tried to give us buckwheat pancakes with molasses. And I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like, I'm not falling for this. This is not, no way. You promised us
Buckwheat and
pancakes. I want
molasses?
real." Yeah. Yeah. I was like, I want real pancakes. This is not what you promised us. We cleaned up. We did our chores. I did did not sign up for this.
Like, you gave me work. Like my jaw's gonna be
Yeah.
tired after chewing through all of this.
Yeah. These are struggle pancakes. These are not good. Yeah. So,
I don't know why that hit me so hard, but okay, struggle pancakes.
yeah.
Buckwheat is struggle pancakes. I'm gonna tell that to my dad the
Yeah.
next time he makes some buckwheat pancakes.
Buckwheat and molasses. Don't forget the
Oh,
molasses.
right. So it's not even real
Yeah.
syrup. It's all thick. It
No.
tastes wrong.
Yeah, and bitter. And then margarine.
Ugh.
That was the butter we had.
Can't even get real butter.
Yeah, the whole thing was just, I was like, I protest. I'm not eating this. Not eating any of it. Um, so, yeah. Well, so my Christmas, I know, Johnny G. That's a good question. Buckwheat pancakes with molasses. Or can we just not afford any
See,
better? I don't know.
I I feel like buckwheat is actually more expensive than regular flour, though. That's the crazy part.
Well, these were people who shopped at the health food store in the early
Mm,
80s. And so
mm,
back then, the health food store was less expensive, I think, because it was more obscure and people didn't really do that. And they had the bulk, bins and all of that. So it's more like a CSA,
okay.
I mean, we got carob and, you know.
Oh,
And that was
really?
back in the day when Tom's of Maine didn't even have flavors in their toothpaste. It was just no flavor, it just tasted like cement. That's what we got.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. This
yeah.
is before Whole Foods, before Trader Joe's.
Oh, long before any of those things. Yeah. So, but so for Christmas this year, like I think I have a roast, like a pork roast. So I think I'm gonna do that. I ordered a lot of pork this time around.
Hmm.
So, and I have some pork belly, so I'm gonna have that. I'm excited about that. Um, but yeah, um, I
So,
don't have any
all
steaks.
this from Belcampo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Good stuff.
Man, and I forgot. I wanted to mention this. There was actually, let me get it. Hold on. Keep everyone entertained. Arian.
Right. Like, there's nothing for me to continue with. All I'm going to do is just look at the comments. And yeah, there's no comments. So I don't have anything. Why is your camera off?
I'm coming back. Hold on.
Oh, all right. I guess they'll just look at me looking at Belcampo. Belcampo
My
has beef bacon.
goodness. Really?
Yeah. I did
They
not
didn't
see
when I
this before.
last checked.
It's
That must be new.
it's out of stock right now, but it's there for you to buy.
That must be new because they did not have that before. Okay,
Huh.
so there's this company that's making beef bone broth from concentrate. I don't know if you can see that. So they
It's
sent
clear
me,
now.
yeah. So they sent me some to try, and so I just got it. So I'm gonna let you know about that. So I kind of wondered if eating bone broth from concentrate is going to be a problem in terms of histamine. Um,
Oh, that makes sense.
but but I don't know. I'm willing to give it a try. Um, and then they've got two that are different flavors. So those have a lot of seasonings in them. So I think I'm not going to have those. But the plain should be okay. Um,
Yeah, I
hmm
wouldn't want flavors, especially unless like you really fine tooth comb go through that ingredient list.
Yeah. It was surprising actually how much they had like tomato paste. And it's like, oh, come on. Please,
It's
people.
I'm buying bone broth. Don't add extra crap to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Um,
Unless it
Johnny
was supposed to
G's
be tomato flavored.
is not. No, it was not tomato flavored.
Mm,
Um, let's see. So Katora says she's making a standing rib roast. That's pretty awesome.
that's cool.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
may.
wow. I looked at what they had at Belcampo, but it was so expensive. I was like, I can't go order something like that. But wow.
I can just imagine how much that was. I ended up buying a few weeks ago a rib roast and a strip roast. This was my first time even seeing a strip roast in a store.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so
What's
this was
this
like,
strip roast? Is that where New York strip comes from?
yeah.
Oh, cool.
So Yeah, so I'm excited to do that one. The rib roast, I've done one of those a couple times before, so I'm less excited for that, and it's just huge. The strip roast is maybe like
Mm-hmm.
5 pounds or so. Well, then, okay, so there's the poundage, but then that strip roast has no bones in it. The rib roast does have bones, so I was worried about it lasting too long. But come to think of it, it's not going to.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's not going to be so big because I'm going to cut all those bones out. But yeah, that they were okay prices. They weren't the best I've ever seen though. Like best I've
Mm-hmm.
seen for rib roast is like $6 a pound, and like whenever I see that, I'm buying it, whether I have space or not. I don't even think about it. This was like $8 a pound, I think, which is still good price, but
Yeah, that's good.
could be better.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
let's see.
oh,
Couture got it on sale at Publix, and Abigail Penn is making duck for the first time, so that's pretty awesome.
good stuff.
Yeah.
I hope it comes out better than the last time I had duck.
Oh, you made duck. Well, what
No,
happened?
my dad made duck, and I don't know what he did wrong or if it was just that it was breast, but like it was tough. It was
Uh,
extremely tough. Um,
yeah.
and I think he was saying that there's like the meat has fat outside, but it actually doesn't have fat in the meat. The
Mm-hmm.
intra intramuscular meat, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
or fat, like that wasn't there.
So, how do people make it so it's not tough?
I think they end up drenching it in some sort of moisture or fat because there ends up not being enough fat in the duck itself. But maybe this is just breast.
Hmm.
Maybe it's not like that for other duck meat.
Hmm. I don't know. I had goose for the first time like 2 years ago, and oh my god, that was amazing. And
Hmm.
I was thinking, oh, this is going to be tough. Like, and I was thinking, I know I don't like chicken and I barely like turkey. So, I was thinking, this isn't going to be good. But then I had it and it was like, it's dark purple in color. It is, it was kind of chewy, but in a meaty sort of way, not in a bad way. It was juicy and fatty. I was like,
Hmm.
all right, I can see why you want to eat goose.
Okay. So maybe it was just what he had. Like it probably wasn't fresh. I bet it was frozen. So maybe it just wasn't the best duck breast.
Well, Abigail, when you try the goose, let me know how it is because I am definitely very curious. Like, I've never since made the effort to find a goose and cook it, but it was, it was good.
I don't even know.
Of course,
I
I
don't
had a
know what
gravy
I
with
would
it, and I'm sure the gravy had flour in it, so that wasn't good.
Yeah, but as far as you recall, do you think it would have been good without the gravy?
Yeah, but the gravy definitely added something.
Yeah,
And then,
that's the
the
issue.
box of C's candy that I was gifted, the toffee with the, crushed up almonds, you know, the whole night ended up being a wrap.
Mm, mm. Still, could be. Sounds like it could be worse. I don't even know where I would buy duck and goose from. I don't think I've ever
Mm-hmm.
seen them in a store.
Yeah. I think it's the kind of thing you gotta ask about. You won't see it, but you gotta ask about.
Mm, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
All right. So some of you are having a roast, a duck, and I'm going to be doing pork, and Arian, you're still doing Thanksgiving, you know point 2.0. Um,
Yeah, pretty much. I'll probably. I mean, I have those two roasts, and I'm gonna need to eat around the holiday anyway, in the leftovers are only going to last but so long, probably a few days. I may
Right.
cook one of those roasts.
Okay.
I
All
think that'll be
right.
cool. Cook the roast and then have my own New York strips that I can just cut whenever I want.
And what did you ask for from Santa?
I was supposed to ask for something from Santa.
I, I don't know. How else do you get your Christmas gifts?
Dude, I'm grown. I don't get Christmas gifts. Um,
Oh no. It's nice to get gifts, even from the people
eh,
close to you.
yeah, I don't know. I guess I may get gifts this year, but yeah, I'm not. That's not the kind of person I am really. Like
You don't
I
like
feel like
gifts.
not really, no. Because then I have to think about what to get a person, especially like
Yeah,
when it's tied to a day.
exactly.
Like I had an idea, or when I have an idea to buy something, I just want to buy it or just do it, not like hold it for a day or something. Um,
Okay.
so, and then for me, like for myself, like I have means. I just get the things that I want. So give it's hard to get gifts for me. It ends up disappointing for the person who tries to get me gifts a lot of times.
Good to know. I guess I can cross you off my list.
You know what? Yeah, like I feel bad because some people are like really into gift giving and they're like, "Oh, I want to buy you something. What do you want?" And I'm like, "I don't. I guess I'll try to think of something." But like,
Mm-hmm.
then they get mad because I'm making it more work than they feel like it has to be. And I'm sorry. This is just how I am. Like my family. When I was little, I got a ton of gifts because I was a kid. That's what happens. But then, like as soon as that was over, it got really simple.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, I
What
still
did
like
you
to
ask Santa
do.
for?
I still like to do some gifts things. Some art supplies. So I have picked up painting and drawing and art stuff again, and that has really been a delight. So
Really?
yeah. And, one of our own, Anna Fogg, she's an artist and also a member of the Black Carnivore community. And so she teaches an art class. And so I joined. And it's been great to, like, each week, have homework and like a day that I'm supposed to have these things done by. And so I've just been doing a lot and really getting into it. So it's been great.
That's
Hmm.
awesome.
Yeah. And it's nice to, support one of our own and whatever projects they're doing. So I encourage anybody here who's watching, if you're looking for any kind of creative outlet, she's doing these via Zoom. So
Mm.
it can be all done online.
Yeah, that's cool.
Maybe I can show you some of my projects. Oh, it's left my art, my journal. I'll be right back. So. Yeah, but I'm
I got it
definitely
too.
getting better.
Mm.
I'm definitely getting better. Warming up, so to speak.
That's cool. So this was a
Yeah.
thing that you used to do and you fell out of practice.
Yeah, yeah. So, well, this is what we did in class um, Wednesday.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm supposed to do that again, but make it a daytime scene. And yeah. Portraits. This was supposed to be me. Still working on it.
It looks cool though.
It looks like a person, just not
Right.
me.
Which
So,
is, I mean, just getting it to look like a person can be really tough.
yeah, yeah, it is. So I feel quite good about that.
You make the eyes too
Started
big and you got
playing
an alien.
started playing around with some oil pastels. It's supposed to be a bowl of tomatoes. Haven't finished it.
Okay.
Yeah. So Yeah. Let's see, I don't think I have anything else. Well, I kept playing around with that same bowl of tomatoes in crayons, and this is colored pencil.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. I had a lot of experience drawing and, doing some basic cylindrical shapes. So, I think if you are looking for something to do that's creative, please call Anna. She's lovely and very, very encouraging. So yeah, I'm excited to see what Santa brings me.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Arian Katora says that she knows you'd like meat.
Yeah. Yeah, if somebody wants to, especially like decent prices or just period, like if you're gonna buy them and pay for them, like yeah, some good. What could I use? I'm running low on steaks, and the last time I was at Sam's Club, the steaks were not on sale, so I didn't buy any. Yeah, so like ribeyes or strips with fat on them would be really clutch right now. I think I'm down to my last. Yeah, I'm down to my last pack of steaks.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah. So gotta re up on those. Also oxtails. Always oxtails would be nice.
Oh, I can't find them now for less than $10. It's ridiculous.
Oh, that's yeah.
I know.
That's really bad because I can get them for about $6 a pound
Oh,
if
God.
I'm patient.
I gotta get out of the city. What I need is a car, and I need to drive out to Long Island, and that's where the stuff will be cheaper.
So it would take you forever, but couldn't you take a train out there or like two?
Oh my God, are you kidding? Take 1 or 2 trains to the supermarket to carry that stuff home? Are you kidding?
Okay, all right. Bad idea. How
No.
long would it take you to drive?
Well, it depends on where I'm going, but maybe not that far. Might not be that long.
Y'all probably have like zip cars or something in New York.
Yeah, we do. We do. So, all right. So it sounds like, you got a good plan for the coming week, and I as well. So, and you guys in the chat have some interesting foods. So awesome. Katora says, "Oh my God, Sam's Club, $5.99 a pound for oxtails.
Yep.
Lucky you."
And they're thick too.
Oh God, so jealous. Yeah, yeah, right. Bay it in the snow. You're talking about me doing all that traveling to go to a supermarket way out, all that in the snow.
This is true. I was not thinking about the weather on top of that.
Yeah. So, all right. So we should wrap up. And next week, we're just going to have videos, pre-recorded videos, interviews. But we have some really, really great interviews. And then Christmas is coming. I'm so excited. And then I will see you all the following week. But it's going to be New Year's Eve too, the following week, right?
Right. Yeah, that's what Thursday is. It's the 31st. Well, don't forget. So Saturday is the live with Deb.
Yeah.
So there's 2 lives this week. Next week there won't be a live. It's just videos. And the week after, yeah.
Well, maybe
31st.
we should switch. Maybe we should switch the live the week after to the 29th, to Tuesday the 29th. That way we have the live, but it's not on the holiday.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll do that. So after Christmas, the 29th, we will do a live, and then we will premiere video on Thursday the 31st.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Erica, that's a great idea about the Instacart. I forgot about that. And Costco. That could be how I get the food from Costco.
So you do have a Costco somewhere around. It's just way too far.
Yeah, it's it's like maybe a 20-minute drive,
Okay.
but I'm not a member either. So,
Apparently, somebody was telling me that even not being a member, you can, I guess, you can still do the Instacart or the delivery.
well, that's what, yeah, that's what Erica was just saying.
But I think they deliver on their own too, like outside of Instacart.
Yeah, but then you would need a membership.
I Is that what they were saying? Okay, I'll play with it and see. Either way, either you're doing Instacart or the delivery is straight from Costco. But yeah, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not buying a membership. I already have the Sam's Club one, which really I don't. My dad has the Sam's Club, and I use his.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, everybody. So it was great having this conversation tonight. I hope that you learned a lot and you enjoyed hanging out with us. So many of you stayed all the way to the end. I really appreciate that. It was a really enlightening conversation, and I'm really excited about the interviews that we will be premiering in the next couple of weeks. So
Right.
I will see you all on Saturday. Stay tuned for Deborah and me, and I'm so excited to get a chance to catch up with her. I haven't talked to her in so long, except by message, and it'll be really great to just see her and to hang out. So I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you all enjoy it too. All right, everybody, have a great night, and I'll see you soon.
Have a good night. Mash that like button.
That's right. Thank you. Good night.